Hey everybody, how's it going? Just wanted to make a little video for you guys today. I'm installing a Trailtech Vapor onto my 2002 XR650R. Alright, but as you can see, I've got it completely torn apart because I'm doing a couple things at once. But just wanted to go through and talk about the little parts of this, see how easy it really is to put on. Of course, got the dashboard here. I have it mounted with factory or the little OEM mount that it comes with. Comes with two of them. One's for 7/8 inch bar, which is what I have on there, and the other one's for a little bit bigger bar, which I'm not using. It's not the super sturdiest thing in the world. Alright, it's just one bar going across. Does it move a little? Yeah. Doesn't move when I ride, so I'm not worried about it. As you can see, you've got the little connectors coming off the bottom. Now, the hardest part about this thing right here, alright, was getting this screw tightened. Alright, it's made obviously for a 7/8 inch bar. Alright, but I'm telling you, I had to put pliers to hold this thing together in order to get that screw to reach the threads, and that's the long screw that they give you. There's a shorter one too that goes in here. That's the long screw, and it was kind of a bear to get in there, but it's in there now. And it's tight, and it's not going anywhere, so I'm pretty happy with that. Coming around, the first thing I put on was the front brake, or excuse me, the sensor for the speedometer. Alright, it comes down here. You can see it right here a little bit. You can't really see it from the back. You have to take the caliper off completely and drill a small hole through the caliper and attach it with a self-threading screw. Mounts right there. Specifies a 1/8 inch drill bit. Of course, all my 1/8 inch drill bits were broken, so I used one that was a little smaller and kind of work around to get it big enough. The sensor itself, or the magnet, is attached right here. It specifies in the directions. On XRs, you can get them in here. However, I had to clearance out. There's a little casting mark inside those voids. So I had to go ahead and sand/drill it out a little bit to get that fitting to go through there all the way. Fits nice and flush. Got a little snap ring on the back. It's only been on there about a day, but been 75 miles an hour indicated, and it hasn't moved yet. So, pretty happy with that. Of course, with the routing, I borrowed this mount off of the other fork that was for the odometer gear, which I'm not using anymore. Just so I just reused it over here to keep this nice and tucked in here, and brought it up, zip tied it along the brake line. A couple of spots up here and here, and then it simply plugs right into the harness there, real nice. The next thing that I did, I went ahead and just wired it in the bike's power so I could get the backlight for night riding, which is absolutely necessary. This is all pretty temporary. That's a good word for it. Temporary. Just threw in a couple of quick splices there. As you can see, I got it a little further into the wiring, and the prior owner did some pretty interesting splicing, but I'll go through and clean all that up once I get the next piece of the puzzle done. But that went in there super easy. Again, I got a lot of extra. I'll clean that up later on. Next thing I'm working on is the coolant temp sensor. So I went around, drained all my coolant out, threw a little hole right there, bottom of the system. Prior owner was nice enough to put engine ice in it. However, not a whole lot came out. So, a little bit confused about that. Maybe, I'm not sure if the thermostat's holding some on the other side, or if there just wasn't that much coolant in it. It's a little bothersome. But I've had no issues with it running. I haven't checked the compression to see if it's got hot and has low compression or not. But again, I haven't had any problems with it, so I'm not worried at this moment. So after that, went in and pulled this hose off, and simply marked on it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Turn my little headlight on. Alright. Held that little temp sensor up and marked a couple of spots I'm going to cut out. That ends up being pretty darn close to that elbow coming out of the head, but it's good enough. It's going to probably end up being about that far away, which is a lot of room, no, but it's plenty for this application. It doesn't need to be any farther away than that. And it's tight. It's tight in the elbow, but it's going to work just fine. So I'll be cutting that next and fitting it in. I'll just I've got some shrink wrap or some yeah, whatever you want to call it, that I will put that sensor wire in, and I'll probably throw the tachometer wire in it as well, just to keep them together and protected. So that's next. Got the lead for it right here again. Plenty of lead. I'm probably going to have to end up cutting it down a little bit, but just so I don't have a bunch of extra hanging around. But that's simply going to come straight down from the wire harness through with the this clip with the rest of the cables, and come right down here, and it wraps. I haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to wrap it yet. I can either put it up here against there with the coil, or actually underneath the boot. I gotta look in a little more on that. I haven't looked that far ahead. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the Trailtech. Super easy. I started it yesterday and worked my way through it. I'm very impressed with it. It's a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow responding on the speedometer inputs, but it works. It works very well, and I'm happy with it. Some of the other stuff I've got going on. Obviously, the wiring is all apart. I'm going to be converting it to DC to run an LED headlight, and converting this to an LED as well. I've already got an add-on brake light I can use with for a brake light in my license plate mount. And I'm basically just going to clean up the stuff that I don't need. Right now, I'm pulling the carb off to check the jets. Previous owner didn't know what, he knew he'd changed the jets but didn't know what they were, so I'm just going to make sure they're right before it's all buttoned up again. This little guy right here is on like crazy and not coming off, so I have to work on it some more. I've got my impact driver out, El Cheapo Harbor Freight. We'll see how it works. But yeah, that guy right there, I really don't want to round him off, so I'm taking my time with it. But other than that, got the Shinko 705s, 90, 90, 21 in the front, and 120 width, 18 in the back. So far so good with those, loving them. Found out she's got a 50-tooth rear sprocket, which is up 2 from stock. I'm going to have to change that since I'm mainly going to be doing highway riding. I'm looking at getting a 15-tooth front and like a 45-tooth rear just to get the revs down. But again, I'm not too worried about that right now until I get the tachometer finished wiring up and actually see what it's pulling going down the road. But other than that, she's doing pretty good. What have I already done? I've already replaced the countershaft seal, and I think I'm going to go in with an XR's only case saver. I'm not going to worry about trying to fix that. It fell out the first week I had it from the previous owner epoxying it back on. So XR's only mounts through here and back down here somewhere. So that should be a lot better off. Yeah, that's it for now. I hope this helped anybody out there who might not have a clear idea what they need to do. All right, take it easy.